12 days ago, I published a video on the SpaceX IPO that came, and I gave you three options. Number one, buying at $135 on day one. Option number two, waiting 90 days for the pullback that we expected to see. And option number three, staying invested in something like the NASA ETF that had exposure to SpaceX through an ETF. Now, I told you when we see 90% in 8 weeks in DRAM and now 67% in the SpaceX IPO is exactly the setup when we see a very violent correction in the market, when the momentum and really the hype really starts to fade. And today, SpaceX is trading at $154, down 31% already from its all-time high of 225, meaning it wiped out over $600 billion in market cap in 3 sessions, which is insane, but that's very historic to what we see with IPOs. So today I want to cover this IPO and kind of break it down and telling you exactly what happened, why it happened, why we're seeing the pullback, and whether the 3 options are going to change. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, when we start looking at the SpaceX timeline, it was really since June 12th. It started at $135, first trading at $150. So even rave off the initial get, 11% above that IPO price that we've seen. And really, that was before single retail investors could buy into it. So before you and I had a crack at it, people were already buying it at $135, closing day one at $161, a little bit lower than what we were thinking, but that was a 19.2% first day pop, which again is historically traditional for IPOs. Over the next 4 days, it ran up to $225. People are saying $300. People are saying $400 on this on June 16th. And it momentarily, briefly took over Amazon and Microsoft as the 4th most valuable company publicly traded in the world in less than 48 hours, which was crazy because they are still losing a lot of money. Then, of course, 3 things happened in very quick recession that we've seen. Wednesday, it fell 5%. Thursday, another 3.6%. Monday was the biggest loss, down 16.4%. So people realized that if they bought it, and when they did buy it at the initial, they were taking profits, they were cashing out. These 3 sessions alone wiped over $600 billion in market cap of this company, completely gone. And the catalyst that accelerated Monday's drop was a new filing. SpaceX announced for the first time ever there is going to be a bond issuance. Senior unsecured notes that they're offering, meaning the company is looking, and they did raise another $75 billion then its IPO by this debt marketing back, which again makes me really worry about how much cash they're bleeding. For inspectors speculating the IPO process, and really this would fund operations for years to come. And the announcement landed absolutely horrible after that initial drop. So why did this happen? There's 3 specific reasons that I want to talk about, and I want to be clear because 2 of these were really in the bear case for the IPO. First off, the valuation was the problem. At $225, SpaceX was trading at roughly 145 times the trailing revenue. This company is burning to almost $4.3 billion in a single quarter. The XAI losses were covered in the IPO video, and at 145 times the revenue, it's not an investment. That is momentum trading. That is really speculation. A lot of hype into this company, and momentum trades reverse, and they usually do very, very hard. The bear case 12 days ago was 109 to 116 times the trailing earning was very stretched. 225, and even if we look higher, would be dramatically worse. The correction was not a surprise for anyone who bought in this company. Second was the leveraged ETF mechanics. Several leveraged SPCX products launched shortly after the IPO was initial. 2, 3 times products really amplified the stock movement in either direction. On a big down day, a lot of those were forced to sell the shares, which is why we see the acceleration on Monday in 16.4% down, is because all of those leveraged ETFs had to rebalance. Written all over it. This is really a self-enforcing feedback loop that we see on the downside. And third, the bond issuance, which has definitely got everyone scared. They issued $100.8 billion in cash on the balance sheet, is what they're sitting on as of June 19th. And SpaceX is still issuing additional debt and raising more money to the market. That is a signal either the cash is earmarked for something else that we're unaware about, or really they need more cash because they anticipate for the next couple of years not being profitable at all. The capital requirements are really looking at the XAI, really dug out and really looking at the billions of dollars that they're burning every single quarter. Neither read bullish on really the short term. So here's what you actually have to know, guys. You watched the IPO video and you picked one of the 3 options. Now what? Let me address all three of these options that we talked about. With number one, if you bought it $135 to $161, you're still up 14 to 20% on the entry if you got in. The thesis from the IPO video hasn't really changed that much. Starlink is genuinely a one-off exceptional business. The MSCI really inclusion is giving structural buying pressure that we're seeing right here. And the orbital AI thesis is real, but you're looking at a 5 to 10 year horizon for the feasibility. So what has changed about this? It is really the short-term risk profile that we see. The bond tells you that capital requirements are going to be ongoing, and this company is probably going to be bleeding money for a lot of years. And also the leveraged ETF mechanic, which really scares me because, of course, if there is negative news around the SpaceX IPO and SpaceX in general, we could see this pulling it down much, much faster, another 5, 10, 15% in the future, which is going to be, of course, far below the IPO price that people are buying it at. Now, if you bought it more because of the hype, then really when it got loud, you could trim your position. Again, when we start looking at this, if you're looking at another 20 to 30% decline within the stock, are you going to be able to do it without holding or without losing sleep at all? And of course, if you waited 90 days, you're probably sitting at a 15% discount as it sits right now. The pullback is happening a lot faster than we were expecting for the IPO. I said 90 days, it took 12 to see the pullback. And the question now is whether the pullback is going to pull back more. We know Cathie Wood put $64 billion into SpaceX itself, which is kind of crazy. And she answered that with the really buying it at a discount is what she was saying. That is really noteworthy. Now, honestly, when it comes to her and her view, I've seen her funds and they've lost an incredible amount of money. And at $154, it might be meaningful and really better than that 161 that we seen on the IPO day. But of course, the bond issue really adds a lot of uncertainty to this company, which really makes it, and that originally wasn't in the analysis because we didn't know they were going to do an additional bond issuance to raise additional money. Now, clear entry point might be 130 to 140 if we start seeing it within that 60-day window. Now, of course, if you stayed in the NASA ETF, your most defensible position for most investors, most people, and we know only, I believe, 29% of that has SpaceX exposure, and we're seeing a lot of volatility within the ETF itself. It is really looking at live public market prices, and we also know the NASA ETF cannot sell those shares that they have, regardless of how high and how low they go. And this means you have to have diversification in here. And really there is diversification in there, but of course the biggest holding is going to be SpaceX within that ETF. So staying in NASA still might make sense if you have a 3 to 5% really pull or stake in that ETF itself. So my verdict, guys, and here's what I'm thinking right now when we look at this. The bear case from the IPO was corrected, and it was a lot faster than I expected. The valuation was stretched. We knew that day one. The momentum trade reversed, which we've seen, and the bond issuance really added new capital story that people didn't like at all, knowing they're burning through cash and they're raising that much more cash. None of it really changes though, because Starlink still 11.4 billion in revenue, 4.4 billion in operating profits, and really 10.3 million subscribers, great margins. And of course, the business didn't get worse this week. The stock just got more realistic when we start looking at the price. Now, one new data point at this point worth knowing is the issuance of really the neutral rating for the stock itself. It's not a buy, it's not a sell. They're saying that it should sit at about $187 across the board. That's what professionals are saying. Now, the range is enormous. Some people are saying $62 on the low end. Some are saying $310 at the high end. So even when we look at the best and the brightest, the analysts, there is a wildly different view of what this company is actually worth and seeing when it's going to be profitable and if at a point it's going to be profitable. But of course, the uncertainty when it comes to the bond issuance really gives me hesitant and really makes me stop to think about it. Now, my sizing rule on this, if you want to position in SpaceX, 2 to 3% really at the total portfolio. Fundamentals in here haven't changed. Risk profile hasn't gotten shorter. It's actually gotten longer. Looking at the VOO, the QQQM, and looking at the anchors and, of course, the foundation is where you want to be. So this, for a lot of people, guys, is a very broad and very educational teaching lesson for people who bought into the SpaceX IPO. IPO momentum to buy, and really it's kind of crazy because a majority of the IPOs, even large IPOs we've seen, the momentum turn to the downside 20, 30, 40%. Not retail investors, they usually get burned when it comes to IPOs. Every major IPO in recent history has had much better entry points 30 to 90 days after the initial IPO. SpaceX was really putting out a pattern in that time, and everyone that stands behind what they're doing, and Elon Musk in general, the people who have waited have bought it at a much better price than the IPO price on day one. So guys, definitely drop a comment down below. Let me know, did you go with any of these three options in the IPO video that we originally did? Are you thinking about the crash? Did it change, or are you thinking about it any different? Since they've done that bond issuance, I read every single comment, and I'm back from vacation. And if you're new here, definitely subscribe to the channel, because this is what we're doing every day. Real analysis and looking at the moment after moment, not just the hype. And I will see you guys in the next one.